Ubi caritas es verum, Deus divinis.
The Poverello's Round Table by Sister M. Aquina Barth, OSF. July 14th, St. Bonaventure, Doctor, Bishop, First Order. Next to God, we owe a debt of gratitude to St. Francis for this great doctor of the Church and minister general of the Franciscan order. Bonaventure was born in Bagnoria in the Papal States in 1221 and was given the name John in baptism. As a child of 4 years old, he became seriously ill and was given up by the physicians. Then his mother hastened to St. Francis, who was preaching in the vicinity just then, and begged him to come and heal her child. The saint assented to her request. He prayed over the child, and immediately it was cured. St. Francis is said to have uttered the prophetic words, O Bonaventure, O blessed event. For that reason the child was thereafter called Bonaventure. Endowed with the most remarkable gifts of nature and grace, and reared in the fear of God, Bonaventure entered the order of St. Francis in his early manhood. Completing his year of probation with honor, he continued his studies under the great Alexander of Hales. The latter did not know what he should admire most, the talent or the virtue of the young religious. He used to say it appeared that Adam had not sinned in this young man. During his student years, Bonaventure devoted many hours to the contemplation of Christ's suffering, and he was a zealous client of our Blessed Lady. It is reported that once when Bonaventure abstained from Holy Communion for several days, from a sense of humility, an angel placed the consecrated host on his tongue. After his ordination to the priesthood, he devoted himself with extraordinary zeal to the salvation of souls. Because of his extensive and profound knowledge, he was appointed professor of theology at the University of Paris at the early age of 27. Bonaventure and Thomas Aquinas, the order of St. Dominic, at that time shed the greatest luster on that institution. Gerson, the great chancellor, remarked that the University of Paris had perhaps never had a greater teacher than Bonaventure. He grasped theology with his heart rather than with his head, and it shed its radiance on his conduct rather than on his words. St. Thomas once visited him while he was engaged in writing the life of St. Francis. He found Bonaventure raised in ecstasy above the earth. Reverently he withdrew, saying to his companion, "Let us leave a saint to write about a saint." On another occasion, Thomas asked Bonaventure from which books he obtained his unparalleled knowledge. Bonaventure pointed to the crucifix as his library. In 1257, when Blessed John of Parma resigned the office of Minister General, Bonaventure was unanimously chosen at the recommendation of Blessed John to fill this position. He governed for 18 years and regulated everything that pertained to convent life and the external activity of the friars with such circumspection and prudence that he has quite generally been considered the second founder of the order. Both by word and deed, he defended the order against great and learned opponents. Franciscan convents had already been established in all parts of the world. Bonaventure divided them now into provinces. He also composed ordinances for the faithful observance of the rule, which formed the basis for all future constitutions of the order. At the same time, he patiently gave audience to the simplest brother, and sometimes performed some of the lowliest duties in the convent. he prescribed that the Angelus bell be rung in the Franciscan churches thrice daily. This beautiful custom soon spread throughout the Catholic world. In spite of all the duties of his important position, the saint still found time to preach and to write books of great learning and holy unction. He had steadfastly declined all ecclesiastical distinctions. In 1273, however, Pope Gregory X obliged him to accept the bishopric of Albano and the dignity of the cardinalate. The Pope himself consecrated him bishop, and then entrusted him with the direction of the Council of Lyons. To the great satisfaction of the Pope and the Fathers of the Council, the schismatic Greeks also attended the assembly. At their arrival, Bonaventure delivered an address, which he opened with the text, "Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about toward the east, and behold, thy children gather together from the rising to the setting sun." Due to his efforts, the Orientals were reunited to the Church of Rome. Worn out by the heavy strain, he fell ill after the third session. The end came very rapidly. The Pope himself administered extreme unction. With his eyes directed toward the crucifix, Bonaventure gave up the ghost in the night between the 14th and 15th of July, 1274. Seldom was there ever a grander funeral. The Pope and all the members of the council attended it. Sixtus IV canonized him in 1482. Sixtus V gave him the title of Doctor of the Church in 1587. Because of the ardent love which marks his writings, he is called the Seraphic Doctor.